Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. What's going on, man? New Breed 313 Sports back at it again, man. Like and subscribe to the channel. Y'all know what it is, man. Y'all know what it is. So, without further ado, let's get to it, man. Let's get to it. So, the question I want to ask Piston fans all over the world. Are the Pistons in panic mode right now? Yes, they've lost four in a row. Are they in panic mode? Should we fear other teams in the East? Boston has gotten Jason Tatum. You know, do we fear the Knicks, Cleveland? Right now, we know that every team struggles. They have a loser streak. Every team goes through that. To me, it's basically this team just can't shoot. They can't shoot. And even if you can't shoot, you got to rebound the basketball. You got to. If you don't have rebounders, what do you have? What is the point? If you can't rebound and get a second chance point, what's the point? You know what I'm saying? So, with the injury to Asar, that hurts. That really, really hurts. And you got to have guys that can step up. You will hope Ron Holland can step in and take over that spot. But at times, JB and his rotations, sometimes you scratch your head at sometimes the rotations he does. You know what I'm saying? If Duncan Robinson is struggling, if you got all these other guys that's struggling, you know, you gotta, Paul Reed gotta play, Sasser, you gotta see what you got with Bobby Clinton and Chaz Lanier. You gotta see what you can get from all of these different guys. And I was saying this because I even said this on the NBA Nightly. Shout out to NBA Nightly, did a Nightly, man. Shout out to them guys over there. And I've even spoke about this too. I'm worried if Cade is doing too much that he's gonna burn himself out. Get worried on that. And that's what I'm worried about, the uses of Cade. And if we use him too much, he's gonna get tired in playoff time. And you just don't know. You don't want to go through that situation. That's why you got to get another score. When you double team Cade, or when you have defenders, like good defenders, like how Jalen Tyson was with Cleveland, and how how you gotta just make Cade work both ends of the floor. If you're constantly pressuring him 94 feet, like Cleveland did with Tyson and some of these other defenders, it's going to be tough for Cade, because at times you can see that he's not going to have enough energy throughout the whole game. And if you notice last year, that's why he didn't have enough energy. That's why they had to sign Schroeder to relieve the energy for Cade. And you have to have a secondary scorer. Duren is going to do what Duren is. You know what I'm saying? But you have to have a third scorer. How much can you rely on Tobias Harris every game? Mr. Inconsistency. Asar, when he comes back. Ron Holland. You got to put Ron Holland in the game, JB. He's getting better and better and better. Does he make boneheaded mistakes on defense and fouls and stuff like that? Yeah. But so does Asar. How much do we have in Karis LeVert? You know what I'm saying? Is he herky-jerky, or as I call him, Mr. Herky-jerky? You never know what you're going to get out of him. Duncan Robinson is hit and miss. A lot of times Duncan Robinson isn't inconsistent. That's why they let him go in Miami. because they was just like, we ain't got no use for him. And plus, his defense is terrible. His defense is terrible. Anybody can get past Duncan Robinson. You got to let Herter into the game. At least he's a way better defender than Duncan Robinson, but he has to shoot the ball. He has to have confidence to shoot the ball, but it's hard to do that when you ain't getting that much playing time. And another thing too, stop starting Marcus Sasser. It's just not going to work. It's not working. You could basically say Sasser is pretty much the new Jaden Ivey right now. He's on the bench. You ain't going to play him that much. If he shoots, he shoots. Even though I think he's a better defender than Jaden Ivey, but Sasser is just, he's small. He's small. He can get overpowered. So Paul Reed has his moments. But as soon as Paul Reed have good games, all of a sudden JB just don't put him in. Especially with Stewart coming back, all of a sudden it's like, damn, Paul Reed had all these games. Put him in there. Put him in. But he just get lost in the sauce. You know what I'm saying? I don't know why they're not playing Ron Holland, because he takes the ball to the basket. He does what he does, but sometimes he does do boneheaded fouls, and he gets in foul trouble too quickly. You know what I'm saying? So you have to have that spark plug come off the bench. You're not playing Bobby Clinton. You're not playing Chaz Lanier. You know what I'm saying? You're barely playing Sasser, if any. You know what I'm saying? You're just not playing them. And it's bad playoff time because you have to shoot the ball. If you can't rebound, it's going to be tough. You got these other teams in the East that's feasting. You know what I'm saying? And everybody's going to be gunning for the Pistons because they're that number one seed. Now with Boston creeping up, and getting better, and Tatum coming back from that injury. Fuck Jason Tatum. Coming back from that injury. And they're going to get better. They're getting better. They're getting better. Tatum is getting better. The more and more he gets strength in that Achilles and gets strength, in his body and get to game shape, they're going to get better. They're going to feed off each other. That's another load off Jaylen Brown, because Jaylen Brown was getting a heavy load of that offense and him doing that. But now with Tatum coming back, that's going to relieve that. And now it's just like, okay, I could play my game. I could be that two-way player, but I ain't got to use as much energy as I did before. Now with Tatum coming back, I got another scorer. I got somebody I can rely on. I got Peyton Pritchard. I got Derek White. I got all these other guys with the emergence of Hugo Gonzalez and all these other guys. Man, they're going to be dangerous. Who is Cleveland? Can Harden and Mitchell play together? Can they make it to at least the Eastern Conference Finals? Neither Harden, Harden's made it to the conference finals, but Donovan Mitchell hasn't. Can this be the year? Can you rely on Jared Allen and Evan Mobley to stay healthy and dominate the glass and the rebounds and the block shots? That's the big thing for them. You know what I'm saying? Can you trust the Knicks? Hopefully, can you trust them? Can you trust Jalen Brunson? Can Cat be effective? Can OG Anunoby, can you count on him? Can he do some scoring? Mikal Bridges, all these other guys. Who else? You got Toronto, you got Philly, you got Miami, you got Orlando, you got Charlotte, who's played well over the past couple months, big wins. Who do is the East wide open? Foster, what's going on, man? What's up? So Who else do you have trust in? Is the East wide open? Is Boston the best team in the East? Is the Pistons still the best team in the East? Is there other teams that you think could be the best in the East? Do you have trust in the Pistons that they can do that? You gotta worry about that. You gotta just do that. Eric Williams, 64-17, said, to be honest with you, I didn't see the Pistons winning the title this year. I think they a year away. I think, see, here's the thing, Eric. And I appreciate the comment too. Appreciate you checking out the show. I think a lot of us are just surprised that they're the top of the East, and they took advantage of the scheduling in the early part of the season with all the teams that were injured and stuff like that. They took advantage of that, which they supposed to. But now you seeing these teams that are getting healthier and healthier and healthier. Now you got to see, is this Piston team legit? Is they for real? Can they beat these teams that's fully strength instead of these teams missing one or two guys and stuff like that? Because, like I said, teams are gunning for them. They lost 4 straight. That Brooklyn game was embarrassing. I think it took a lot out of them. That Brooklyn game was embarrassing to lose at home like that when you up by 23, 24 points and you losing. That takes a lot out of a team. Even with Miami yesterday, with Cade. It was Cade and Duren and nobody else showed up. That's why you need that third score. Now, even if they are a year away, like, who do you keep on this team? Do you go after somebody during the offseason? Like, do you go after or do you draft somebody? Do you keep Tobias Harris? Or do you trade him? Or do you try to go after a Michael Porter Jr.? Do you try to go after a stretch 4? Are you willing to pay money? And are you willing to give up young assets to get some guys like that? That's the question. So you kind of wonder, like, hey, do I keep Asar? Do I let go of Asar for Ron Holland? You ask yourself, who would you keep between Ron Holland and Asar? Me personally, you already know who I would keep. I would keep Ron Holland. I'm a Ron Holland fan. I love Ron Holland. But that just would be me if I was to keep one of them. Now, I think both of these guys are good young pieces, and they're the future for the Pistons. But can you ask yourself, can you pay? How many of these guys can you really pay with a contract? I mean, you got Cade, you got Duren. I mean, who else would you pay? I mean, you got Stewart. You know what I'm saying? Can you count on Stewart staying here? You know what I'm saying? Like I said, Tobias ain't got that many years left. You know what I'm saying? Do you keep Paul Reed throughout the, do you keep him as that, piece? Do you part ways with Karis LeVert? Do you keep Duncan Robinson? Do you think that Duncan Robinson can be that, consistent shooter? Can their shooting get better? Will it get better? Because if it gets worse like this, we'd be lucky if they even go to the Eastern Finals or get past the second round. Or if they play a team in the first round like a Miami, or God forbid they play a fully healthy Sixers team, you know what I'm saying, or Orlando, or even a Charlotte. Charlotte always get them fits. You could see a 7-game series with them and the Hornets. You just never know. These teams can They can be ready, especially these experienced teams like a Miami who got experience with Bam and Hero and Wiggins and Powell and all them. And then you got one of the best coaches in the league in Eric Spoelstra. So you got to be everybody going to be hunting for the Pistons. Everybody's hunting the Pistons. Can they be that same beast of the East and still be in that first? Because even with last year, they could have got to the 3rd seed. You know, they could have got a 4th seed. They could have been home field, but it was just some inconsistency there. You know what I'm saying? But they were set on playing the Knicks. They said, okay, nah, we good. We'll be that, you know, we'll be that 6th seed or whatever. We'll be that. You know, we want to play the Knicks. But as a team, you want to go as far as you want to go up in the ladder as possible. And maybe that Knicks series in the playoffs last year really gave them it gave them experience, even though I feel like they should have won that series. You know, but it's a learning curve. You learn from situations like that. You know what I'm saying? It's just, and also too, man, is JB going to have good rotations? We got to see how his rotations is going to be. Because sometimes you scratch your head at the way he does these substitutions. You be like, what the hell is he doing? Like, why is he putting this person in and this person was just scoring like crazy? Like, what are we doing? You know, can you rely on somebody like a Dennis Jenkins in the playoffs? You know what I'm saying? Some people say, hey, ever since he had that contract, he ain't been playing well. But Dennis Jenkins he's a backup point guard. He's not a point guard that you can see starting on an NBA team. He's a backup. You know what I'm saying? His game can get better, but he's a backup. How many teams you think Dennis Jenkins is going to start on? You know what I'm saying? I'll wait. So a lot of these guys, you just like, is the Pistons deep enough to get to the NBA Finals? And right now, I'm like, I don't know. You know what? I don't know. I have to look. Matter of fact, I'm gonna look at it now. I'm gonna look to see if they did. Let me see. So, okay, yeah. So there's a 3-team trade. The Pistons traded Jaden Ivey, Mike Conley to the Bulls. The Pistons received Kevin Huerter, center Dario Saric, and also a 26 top 19 protected first round swap with the Minnesota Timberwolves. The deal aimed to give Ivy a fresh. So yeah, they got a top 19 protected for the 26 draft. So yeah, to answer your question, Eric, yes, they did get a first round pick from Minnesota. Yep. Let me see. 26 swap, man. Yeah, then eventually, you know, they let go of Saric. The Bulls let go of Mike Conley. Dick Conley went back to Minnesota, if I'm not mistaken, I think. So don't quote me on it. But yeah, man, it's like they definitely in a panic mode with the Celtics bringing back Tatum. And it's a possibility, and don't be surprised if the Celtics could possibly overtake the Pistons and take that first spot. You know what I'm saying? So that's a possibility. Pistons got to do something, man. They got to do something. They got to play. They got to go to Brooklyn tomorrow. So hopefully they can get back from what happened at home against Brooklyn. You know what I'm saying? So we'll just have to see what happens with this team, man. Hopefully JB can work on his rotation, get that better. Hopefully this team's shooting to get better. And all we can do is just pray on it, y'all. As Piston fans, we just gotta pray and hope this team does, gets better, do better. Before the season ends and going into the playoffs, man, because it's gonna be a lot of pressure. Because teams is gonna gun for us. Teams is really, they ain't gonna show us no mercy. They know the ins and outs. They're gonna be gunning for us, man. We just got to see, what we can bring, what we can do, and we'll see what happens with that. I'm gonna always be a Piston fan throughout, the good times and bad times. So it is what it is, man. But like I said, I still got faith in them, man. I still think they can go as far as this team can take. But if they shoot better, they can go far. If they can't, they're not going to go far. Unless you rebound the ball. But it's hard to do that when Duren can be the only one, rebounding. I even said that last year. If Duren is the only one rebounding and you're not getting any help, it's going to be hard to get rebounds. You're going to get out-hustled every time. Duren can't do rebound by himself if he has Jared Allen and Evan Mobley to deal with. Can't do that. That's two twin towers. You know what I'm saying? Can he get the rebounds over Cat and Mitchell Robinson? You know what I'm saying? With Boston, you got, Cater? If you're going around Brown and Tatum and all them guys, do you think that's a lot? That's a lot for him to do. And if he's going over the top, he could draw offensive fouls or defensive fouls. So it's gonna be tough for Duren. That's why having a Sar gone, we missed that second rebounder because he goes to the glass too. And for him not to have that rebounder type of guy, it hurts this team. It hurts this team. And you will hope Stewart can help out Duren with them rebounds. You know what I'm saying? So, but you will hope Tobias. But Tobias too busy trying to shoot corner threes that ain't hitting, and he won't go to the rim. That's just not his game. You know what I'm saying? That's why I think you should play Ron more. He goes to the basket, and he challenges these bigs. You saw what he did against San Antonio with Wemby. He didn't fear that. He went right to Wemby's chest. And that's what you got to do with a shot blocker. You got to go right at their chest because, some of them guys don't like that. But you got to do that with a shot blocker. Ron Holland he don't care. He going to go right at you. K going to go right at you. Guys like that. But you got to have guys that's got grit and that can hit a jump shot. If you ain't hitting your threes, shoot jump shots. Take it to the hole. We got to see if they do that, man. If this team has it in them. We going to see. We going to see. But, hey, y'all, man, that's just my opinion on it. Y'all tell me what y'all think. Are the Pistons in panic mode? Are they just fine? Is it anything we don't have to worry about? What do y'all think about that, man? Y'all let me know, man. Like, comment, subscribe. Do the get on the comments, man. Holla at your boy, the New Breed 313 Sports, 313 the New Breed Real Talk. Y'all got any suggestion ideas, topic ideas? Let me know, man, on a message. Just hit me up. Always willing to, take suggestions from y'all, man. I love y'all. Thank y'all, man, and I'm going to holler at y'all. Peace out.